Mike, I know we got stuff we got to talk about today. We got to talk about Wuchang, Fallen Feathers, among other things. But before we can even get into that, I still can't stop thinking about Jubeat, the new game. Well, I mean, it's not new, but the new thing that's available to us at BitBar. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
no.
thought about this any further than when we played it, but I can't wait to go back and play more of it.
I mean, I did really like the game, although when you said the name, you said, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Um, yeah, it is a fun game, though.
Yeah, it's I feel like it probably maybe showed up somewhere because I feel like sometimes we've been to conventions where they've had more obscure or at least not stateside usual rhythm games.
Yeah.
So this may have been somewhere before, but I don't think I've ever played it before up until now. And it's really just something I want to play more of. And if you can find a U beat anywhere near you out there in listener land, you should go check it out if you like rhythm games. It's like is it 4x4, 5x5? I don't remember how many squares.
I think it's 4x4.
4x4.
It might even be 4x5.
Okay. But you're basically tapping squares in rhythm with the song, and it gets very challenging the harder songs you play. And I really, really enjoyed my time with that. And a huge catalog of music. I mean, it's a lot of music that we're not familiar with, but there's some jams in there. I'm looking forward to the next time we swing down there and get to play some. I was even thinking about there's got to be a way probably somewhere to just order one of the cards online somehow, get someone to send you a card
Oh,
so that we could
you can
actually
sign in
save our progress and
progress.
unlock the goose or whatever. See what's after the goose.
Yeah, it must be stuff after the goose.
There's got to be, right? But anyways, we got a great show for today. Welcome everyone to the Pass the Control podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we talk about Ubeat. Sometimes we, just hanging out, Mike and I, and not having the rest of the gang here. As always, I'm your host, Brennan Groom, and joining me on this lovely Sunday matinee right now. I mean, it doesn't matter because we're not live for this. We're just recording this off air, but a little Sunday matinee for Mike and I. Joining me, as always, the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you feeling today? How's your Sunday going?
Fine. I expected more rain today.
It didn't rain at all, did it? Has it rained?
I haven't noticed anything. I was told scattered thunderstorms. I'm like sick. Love
Yeah.
thunderstorms.
I mean,
Haven't heard a goddamn thing.
it is humid out. It is not great outside. When I went to get coffee this morning, I'm like, oh, this is kind of heavy air. I don't know if I'm feeling this. But we got a great show for you. Mike and I are going to hang out for a little bit, chat about some things, including Wuchang Fallen Feathers. But before we get into that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area, or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. The PTC Movie Club for the month for July is Mike's pick, and it is Sinners. So if you haven't seen Sinners yet and you want to hear us chat about Sinners at the end of the month, make sure you watch that. Can you buy it yet? I know it's on HBO Max, but can you also purchase
You could
it?
buy it a while ago.
Okay.
I don't think a physical copy is out yet, but I'm pretty
But you
sure
could
you could
purchase a digital. Okay. So if you haven't seen that film yet and you want to hear us chat about it, make sure you check that out before the end of the month. What else we got? I think that's it for housekeeping. So we can just cruise right in. Before we get into my sort of review, not review, but really review of Wuchang Fallen Feathers, I quickly want to talk about Donkey Kong Bananza, which you haven't played yet, Mike, I'm assuming.
Nope. I have not.
And let me tell you, I think you're going to enjoy this one. I think this should get bumped up a little priority for you because it is a good time. It's just a really solid experience. I don't really have many complaints about it so far. It's really just been a blast. I love this iteration of Pauline. I love this redesign of Donkey Kong. I love kind of just what you're doing in this game. It's taken the I mean, Donkey Kong's no stranger to
Love.
collectathon, or I guess love too, maybe. He does love bananas, and that continues here. But he definitely no stranger to collectathons being kind of what makes a core part of the Donkey Kong DNA. And this one, I think, is like that, but also it's like that in the same way Mario Odyssey is, where in Odyssey there were a lot of moons and other things to collect, and there was enough there that I think it kind of allowed for less skilled players or younger audience to be able to progress through the game without like having too much trouble. But then there's more challenge and harder things to unlock if you are going for all of those moons. And I think it's the same thing here with Donkey Kong. There's seemingly a plethora of bananas to collect to progress the game, and there's a skill tree here a little bit. So every time you collect, I think it's 5 banandiums, you get a skill point, and you can upgrade Donkey Kong's different abilities, his Bonanza mode stuff, and just make him stronger and be able to traverse and break terrain easier and quicker. But it's just, I don't know, it's just a fucking blast, Mike. I'm just slapping around, I'm just digging up dirt. Like I probably could be a lot further in the game if I wasn't just like exploring and just like breaking things and like going everywhere. And I'm having such a blast with it. It really is like a mixture of Donkey Kong, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Odyssey. Like it's like pulling all of these little pieces from some of these newer Nintendo games and putting that DNA into what they wanted to do here with this Donkey Kong game, and I'm loving it. And I've seen a few people say that they were like annoyed by Pauline. I think Pauline is fantastic. I love this little sidekick character. I think she like adds so much little just extra charm and whimsy to the game that it's really enjoyable. So loving this adventure. Not one of the people that is a Donkey Kong timeline nonsensical thought person, but I am enjoying the story, and I'm curious to see like what this story is. Not necessarily where does this fall like in the Donkey Kong timeline. I just want to know why Pauline is there, why she's younger, and like where the story kind of goes, and sort of how some of the other Kong characters, why they're in this world. So it's cool. It's interesting. I've only ran into Cranky Kong twice. I haven't run into like Diddy or Dixie because I know they're in the game somewhere too. And then any other like character has been new to this game, at least as far as I know. So it's fun. It's a good time. I think you should prioritize it when you're ready for just like a fun, good platformer. I think it's gonna really give you the good feels.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll finally get around to playing Expedition 33. Both Game of the Year contenders, apparently, from what I've been told.
Yes, those are the two. And maybe another that we're going to talk about soon. Maybe. Just maybe. Just might be.
Stacked here.
But, yeah, have you been playing anything or just been...
I've been doing more of the Persona DLC.
Oh. I didn't know you were playing The Answer. Is it long?
Yeah.
I have no idea much longer it is.
I don't know. I've got no idea, and I haven't really wrapped my head around the structure of it, I guess.
Oh, does it not
Like
function like the base game?
It's a little bit different. It's not like hugely different, but like for instance, I can't figure out when I'm gonna be hitting a major boss. Or like other story beats. I'm not sure like when they're going to happen. I don't know. It's odd. That might be a me thing. I'm not really thinking that hard while I'm playing it. Just kind of running through.
Is it like a carryover of your other party and like stats and everything, or no? I have no idea.
it is a carryover, but like they have an excuse for like why you're not as leveled as
Okay.
you were before.
Okay. Does it bring anything over, or is it just a separate experience, sort of?
It brings, what did it bring over? I think at the bare minimum, you do have some access to your previous persona.
Okay.
Not
Interesting.
not full access, but like some.
Okay. It's on my list. At some point, I'll get to Reload. I don't know when I'll get to the answer, but I definitely need to play Persona 3 Reload. So it is on my short list.
Is that list actually that short? Let's be real.
No, it is. It is ever growing. But I bump things up the list. Persona 3 Reload,
Uh,
I would say is it's in the top somewhere. Not the top of the list, but it is. It's in like the priority. That's like in the fast pass.
oh,
There's no schedule. You can't. There's no open appointments. You can't schedule anything. But like it's in the
mhm,
fast pass. Like it's an option. You know what I mean?
okay.
That's a. I don't know.
You're
I don't know. I
gonna
don't know
call it a
who
Disney
that's
joke.
for.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's really a joke per se.
Yeah, it's definitely not a joke. I don't know who that's for. But anyways, we did have the opportunity to play Wuchang Fallen Feathers when we were out in SGF, but neither of us booked the appointment. I think the only appointments left we conflicted with our schedules, so it wasn't something that we got a chance to play over when we were out in LA. But when the opportunity arose for me to check it out at home here and play through this game, I was like, yes, I would like to check it out. Yes, I would like to expand my horizons further in the Souls-like genre. And boy, maybe I shouldn't. Not because Wuchang is bad at all, because it's not. I'm having a great time with it. But I am so fucking bad at Souls-like games, which is not a secret. I knew this is the case. I knew this is like where I fall. So up front, I do want to say that I haven't finished the game yet because I am bad at the game, or just again bad at these types of games. So I want to think, based on a few other people I've spoken to, that I am getting close to the end. I'm very far in the game. I'm somewhere, I want to say, around 40 or 50 hours, which I think is a little bit higher on the hour count for like a. I'm not like mainlining the game, but I am definitely looking for forward progress more often than side stuff. But it is yeah. So this is gonna be my sort of review conversation about the game, but also keep in mind that I haven't actually finished the game yet. But I do think putting in the time I've put in has allowed me to form a pretty solid opinion on my time with this game. So Wuchang Fallen Feathers, it is coming from Chinese developer Lindsay Games, and 505 Games is publishing it. And I think off the top, if you are a fan of Souls-like games, and again, as someone who hasn't really dipped too deep into the genre, it so this could be maybe not a great comparison, because again, my interaction with the subgenre is limited. It feels in a lot of ways like an older Dark Souls game, not in like any negative way. It just feels like you know the most recent Souls game I played was Elden Ring, which was a big open world, very very branching game. This is a little bit more linear, which I personally enjoyed and preferred, just because I don't know if I had it in me to play an Elden Ring type of game. That is difficult because I'm a baby, but I'm enjoying that it does have branching paths. It does have interconnected areas and worlds. It does, you know, give you a reason to explore and take alternate paths and routes. But I also did enjoy that it had a lot of moments that were a little more linear than I did enjoy, because there were a few times where some of the dungeons and areas I was in that had more expansive pathways or alternate routes and stuff. I'm dying a lot. and it's hard for me to get my red mercury, which is your, the currency that you get from defeating enemies. And similar to other Souls games, when you die, you drop it. So having to go back to get that and losing progress if I died again is, it is a challenge. But that's what the genre calls for, and that's what people like. I'm just bad at that stuff. I think I'll pull it back for a second. The overall story, you're playing as Wuchang, who is a pirate that has amnesia because they've contracted the feathering, which is the sort of disease that everyone in this, not everyone, but this is what is going on in this world in I think it's the Shu region. I don't know if it's actually a region in China, but it's like based around the Ming Dynasty era of China. And there are people that are contracting this disease. There's no cure for it. And most of the people that are getting it are over time, it's called feathering because they're, sprouting feathers out of their skin, and then they're losing their mind and becoming demons and other creatures and stuff. So Wuchang has the feathering, and as you progress the game, the feathering gets worse, and you do have amnesia because you don't know a lot about Wuchang's story up front. So, but for some reason, she's able to kind of wield the power of the feathering to her advantage, giving you different abilities in combat, different magic spells, all these things, while not letting it fully consume her and turn her into, a demon, as, a lot of the other enemies and bosses in the game have been. So interesting story. Again, I haven't seen the end of it, so I can't give like a full how I feel about the story itself, but I do like the ideas that they're playing around with. The world is very interesting. I think it is has great different biomes and environments. I think it's gorgeous to look at, like very, very spectacular in a lot of moments. The lighting effects are fantastic. Like there'll be beams of light coming through like trees. Like it's a very gorgeous game for this studio that I was not to say I wasn't expecting it, but it's gorgeous. Similar to how, like, I don't know how big the studio is, but similar to like Clair Obscur. It's a smaller independent studio that made a gorgeous game, and I feel like sometimes that's maybe not the production value you're expecting out of a smaller studio, but the game is gorgeous. Progression and stuff is similar to other Souls games. You're collecting, in this case, red mercury, which allows you to like level up and add skill points to your skill tree. The skill tree branches off in a bunch of different directions based on what weapon and like stance you're using. I'm mostly using the two-handed sword. There's also like spear, axe, one-handed sword, and there might be like dual blades. But I kind of, you start with the long sword, the two-handed sword, and that's kind of just where I've gotten very comfortable. And anytime I've tried to switch weapons, I'm just like, I'm not good, but I've gotten okay enough to get this far in this game with this weapon, so I'm just gonna keep getting better with this weapon. So that's kind of where I'm at. It does have things you can unlock for parrying and stuff, which I think is another just like Souls like staple. But also dodging and stuff is just as important. And I'm actually terrible at the parrying, so my play style is built around dodging. And I kind of like this skill tree because it allows you to sort of craft it around your playstyle. Like in my case, I'm not good at parrying, but I am okay at dodging. So I've kind of built it around mobility, dodging. I do like that, at least what I've played in other similar games, you kind of have to like spec into other like sort of subclasses. Like if you wanted to use magic or spells, you kind of have to build your character that way. And you're not necessarily like doing both things well. Where in this game, you kind of have all of that stuff accessible to you. And it doesn't seem like Obviously, there are stats for magic and stats for other things that you can choose to spend points on, but it doesn't feel like not just putting all my points that I can into magic upgrades doesn't make my spells useless. Like they all seem like they're still doing what I need them to do, even if I'm not like fully spec'd one way or the other. So I like that there's the variety in that. I like that there's the flexibility with having that stuff available to you. There's tons of different spells that I've continued to unlock, some that you get just from, I think, playing the main story, some stuff you can find on the side, a lot of different variety. Again, stuff that just allows you to play to your strengths and how you want to play the game. Like the spells that I use, I definitely have spells that are probably super powerful, but the ones that kind of fit how I'm playing are just what I keep leaning on because it just fits how I'm moving in combat and whatnot, which I really like. There's a whole other system going on under the game, based around like madness meter and your inner demon. So you, as you're playing the game, there's different reasons why the meter will go up. Where I think what it is like the feathering is taking over and it's like making you go mad. When it rises, it makes your attacks stronger, but it also makes you take more damage. So there's like a little, you know, coin flip. There's a little double-edged sword to, yeah, back and forth to that stuff. There are ways to lower it, and there are ways to like make it go away. I kind of just usually let it get, I just let it build up, and then usually when it gets to a head, when you get like to a certain point, I don't actually know what fully triggers it, if there's a thing, or if it's a little more random once you get to maxed out madness meter. But there's a inner demon that will show up. So let's say I died, and I actually no, I feel like they've shown up other times too. So maybe it's not just when you die, but a lot of times it'll be, oh, I died, so I dropped my red mercury, which is like the currency. I need to go back to where I died to go pick it up. Instead of my pool of red mercury being there, it'll be the inner demon who I now have to fight and kill to get my red mercury back. So it's like once you've kind of maxed out your thing, that's like the reset. It'll be like you got to kill this thing to reset your madness level percentage. So interesting little thing. The other cool thing about that too is like it's definitely worked in my favor sometimes is when that character spawns, it will fight you and also fight things, other enemies. So like I've had good luck sometimes where it will spawn in an area that like there are other enemies or other powerful enemies, and I'll usually try to get them to fight and like weaken each other, and then I'll try to come in and clean it up a little bit. So it's interesting mechanic. I like it. I think it's really only put me in a bad spot one time where it did not go my way. But it's interesting. I think for me, this is just further proof that I think I just don't personally like Souls games. It's because you need to be good and you need to be okay with losing progress, and you need to be okay with like learning a lot. You need to be able to learn how the ins and outs of the game works. You need to learn enemy patterns. You need to be, I think, kind of confident in how you're playing, and that's usually where I am struggling because I'm so nervous to die in this game, and nervous to have to retrace my steps, and nervous to have to try again on a boss. And there have been a lot of times where I've just been like getting my ass handed to me by a boss for hours, which again maybe is not as normal because I'm not good at the game, but it would be this moment of like, okay. And I think this is part of the reason why people do like these kind of games is I think I figured out the pattern. I need to now play confidently that I can beat the pattern and beat this boss. And once I get to that level with a boss encounter, I've been able to get past the boss. But I don't know if I personally like that about these types of games. You can probably over level if you want to make things easier. I did that once because I got really just hard stuck at a boss that I was like, I can't. I was talking to someone else who I knew was playing the game, and I'm just like, can you get past this? And they're like, no, I've been on this boss for hours. And I'm like, if you play these types of games and you're good at these games, and I am not. But then I finally got past them. But I really like it. I think it does some interesting things that make it stand apart from other games in the genre. A lot of it's with like the character building, the inner demon stuff. I think it's an interesting setting and story that feels a little bit its own. It feels a little unique compared to some of the stuff I've seen or played out there. There's I feel like I'm missing something with the combat. So another like part of the combat is this Skyborn Might mechanic that basically is tied into using spells and using other abilities in your, I think they're called disciplines, within your weapon style. So there are different ways that will trigger it, like hitting a combo will give you one, so you can use a spell if you want, or another ability, or like dodging or parrying correctly will give you Skyborn Might. So there's this inter-combat currency that you're trying to farm so that you can fight and dodge and do stuff better. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty solid game. I mean, I think that if you are a Souls fan, this is definitely something worth checking out. I think that it is pretty solid. Like, I don't think I really, like, I am bad at these types of games. I don't think the game at any point was unfair to me. I think there are points that the game is very challenging, but I think it's by design. I don't think it's like, this is ridiculous. I can't, like this. Like, it didn't feel like that. It definitely felt like there were harder moments. But I've gotten through some boss fights where after the fight, I'm like, how the fuck did I get through that? But not because it was like an unbearable thing that just didn't seem possible. It's just I really had to like plant my feet in the ground and execute. Like I had to just I had to do it. And yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty solid experience. I think that if you like the genre, if you want something different that is not another Dark Souls game or other game with a franchise based around the genre, I think it is unique setting, unique characters, has some unique character progression and combat options. I think it's definitely worth something checking out. I mean, I hesitate to put a full review score on it because I haven't finished it. I feel like that is, for me, not a fair assessment. But I do think for the 40 to 50 hours that I've already put into it, that it is something that I like feel pretty confidently saying is a solid experience. That I think if you are a fan of the genre, it is something I think worth keeping on your radar. I know you're not a Souls-like guy as well, Mike.
Correct.
Anything about Wuchang that I talked about make you feel like I should check this out? And it's okay if it's not, because I know you would not have a good time playing any Souls-like.
I like the idea of the mechanics, like, theoretically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or rather, yeah, the concept and, maybe even the execution. They all sound interesting. I don't care for the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to grind. You know me. I haven't finished Fallen Order yet, or Jedi Survivor. Which one's the first one? Fallen Order?
The first one is, now I don't remember. Fallen Order, I think. Yeah, Survivor, I think, is the newer one.
Yeah. I kept running into one big frog. I kept dying. I've learned nothing, and I've never progressed behind that.
That is the beginning of the game.
That's beginning of the game. Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
you would have a bad time with this. I think the other thing too is, unless I missed it, there is not like a difficulty slider here. Like it is like you're playing the game. This is the game.
This is the game. Yes.
Enjoy. Which I think it's doing a thing. It's wearing that thing on its sleeve, and this is meant for people that want that thing. And I will say too, to bring it back, because I don't really dive into this too much, is the boss fights were all pretty varied, and like I've played a lot of boss fights at this point, and I feel like they were all unique to each other. None of them were like using similar patterns or had similar movesets. None of them looked this like, they're all very different, and it's you're fighting some human bosses and you're fighting some very not human bosses, and I think there's just like a really great variety. I think there's some really cinematic moments within these fights that I do think that it's an overall solid experience. Like I don't my real only issues with the game are just simply that I'm bad at these types of games.
Yeah.
I think it's really like a solid experience from top to bottom so far. I would have loved difficulty slider because I'm a baby boy, but I also understand that that's not what these games are necessarily appealing towards. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see the whole game through. I hope I'm closer to the end than I think I am, but I'm sure whenever I do finally get to beat the final boss of this game, I will have maybe some closing thoughts in a future episode of the podcast when that happens. But looking forward to playing more of it. It is definitely something I think that fans of the genre will enjoy. An observation, a non-me observation that I can share about the game is I've been primarily playing this game downstairs in my living room on the TV, and whenever Jen is down there watching me play, it is usually I'll be in a boss fight for hours at a time, and it'll just be, I'm so close. Like, I know I'm getting it. I know I'm figuring it out, but it's just like, nope, I died again. Nope, I died again. And it's heartbreaking when I die again. And I don't normally get mad at games, and I don't normally, like, have these types of moments. Part of that's because I don't usually have that type of reaction to games, and also I don't play these types of games that much. But she'll be on the couch, or she'll be in the kitchen, or whatever, and then she'll just be like, wow, you're really enjoying yourself, huh? I'm like, I am. It's just fucking hard. Like, this is just a hard game. Like, I don't know what else to do. I've gotten certain bosses so many times to like a Cheez-Its length of a health bar, like just so small, and I'll get caught in a combo, immediate death, and I'll just like put the controller down, and I'll like put my hands on my head or like put my fucking face in my hands, and she's just like, I have never seen you have less fun playing a game. And I'm like, it's not less fun, I'm just fucking bad at it. Anyways,
I mean, by all accounts of a person seeing you like that, like, I don't know what he thinks fun is. It's like, you know, I'm trying to think of a natural situation for you to fall on your own balls and hurt yourself and being like, yeah, I'm having lots of fun.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like, if I'm playing a game and I feel like the game's controls are bad, or I'm playing a game and I feel like what it is asking me or wants me to do is hard to do because the game isn't solid around that structure, then I'm going to get frustrated and be like, this game fucking sucks. And I'm sure at some point during some of these boss fights, I probably said, fuck this game, or this game fucking sucks, or whatever. But it's not because the bones of the game aren't bad. I am bad. My bones are bad. So that's the distinction. That's the differentiator, is that the game's bones are solid. Mine, apparently I didn't drink enough milk growing up. I don't know. Is that how bones work?
That's what I was told. But
That's what I was told too. Who's to
All
say?
right.
No milk mustache for me. Yeah, I don't know. Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I would put it on your radar if you like Souls likes. If you don't like Souls likes, I don't know. Your mileage may vary. It's tough. It is not an easy game. It is a difficult game. So I think that's where I land on that. Is solid experience. Not for the baby boys like me, but definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of that type of game. What else we got, Mike? Anything else?
No.
Do you have any interest in seeing? I'm putting you on the spot. Do you have any interest in seeing Superman again?
I mean, I could see it again.
All right, you don't have to. The answer can be no. I need to see it still, and Jen doesn't want to see it, and I don't want to go to the movies by myself. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure that out at some point.
Oh no.
Or I guess I could just wait at this point. I don't know how long that type of movie takes to come out, but
yeah, I've lost track of the release schedule for these kind of things.
mm-hmm.
I would say maybe in like 3 or 4 months it might be available.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Is it still having a strong box office?
I think it had a 54% drop this weekend, which I think is not bad. I don't know where I'm gonna find the information again. I literally just saw it and I apparently retained the number, but didn't do anything else with that. Let me. This is not the place I should be looking for stuff. Let me go here. This is so you know we're serious. We're doing live research. We don't do that often.
We don't. We do not.
I need latest. Good lord. Anyway. I forget why I was looking for that information. I guess I believe it's still doing well.
Doing well,
considering the first weekend it basically made back its regular budget.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I just didn't okay, if it had like a crazy drop off, maybe it would come out to
we'll go to streaming
sooner, but I think people are still enjoying that film, so I don't know.
Yeah, second weekend it made 57.3 million. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it again. I don't know if at this point, well, I guess it depends on where you'd want to go see it. Because I think AMC does do like the matinees on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I don't think that it applies to like everything all that much. So like Superman might not be under that kind of ticketing structure. You might have to pay full price.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. We can take a look at it. I might be down to go at some point. Cool. I mean, it's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We came to do. It's just the two of us today. I figured we'd do a quick little episode. This will obviously come out not today. We're also not recording it live just because of the subject matter today, but this will be out later in the week, or I guess me saying any of this is irrelevant because when it's out, and it doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, that means it's already out. The
so
dates are irrelevant.
I'm just saying silly stuff at this point. But yeah, that'll do it. I mean, that's going to be the conversation, for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I'm sure, like I said, when I do get to finally finish the game, I will have some maybe closing thoughts on it, or maybe just elation knowing that I got through what I'm sure is some tough boss fights ahead of me. But yeah, it's just you, so we won't do game or anything today. We'll kind of just cleanly wrap things up. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 480 of the Pass Control Podcast. Friend of the show, fan of the show, want to support us, tons of ways to do that. I just say leave us a quick 5-star review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. It's super helpful. Normally, obviously, this is one of the outlier circumstances, but normally we record the show live every week at twitch.tv/passcontroller. So if you want to catch the live show, you can do that. Even though this wasn't live, it'll still be a video version over on our YouTube channel. So you can just go to YouTube and type in Pass the Controller Podcast and this and any other episode up to a point. I mean, I don't remember when we started. Like, I don't know what the number is when we started doing the video component as well. But if you were to go deeper into the podcast history, yes, there is a point where it is not available on YouTube because we were not doing a video component. We've been doing this for a long time, so there's a portion where it's audio only on podcast services. Maybe someday, if I feel like it is worth it or whatnot, I'll start like putting all of the old episodes as just like a static image with the audio on YouTube, if that makes sense. But I haven't even considered doing that because I don't think that's where our primary listenership is. So doesn't seem like it's a good use of me uploading stuff all day. But maybe someday, if I'm bored, we'll find out. But yeah, leave us a 5-star review. If you want to see everything we do, whether it's written content, cocktail recipes, other stuff, everything we do can be found at passthecontroller.io. That's our website. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week's episode 480. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time.